Hi Sloths, and welcome to a different kind of video. This video is going to focus on the lore of Omori and my predictions of what the ending or just other bits of lore is going to be. Because I've been playing this game for a while now, and I've been playing it blind, which, if you somehow don't know what that means, it basically means that I've been playing the game without any information about what's going to happen or what's actually going on in the game. So when I first started playing it, I had no idea what I was doing, that kind of thing. So anyway, and I wanted to just sort of address the lore because it's such an interesting game. And then what I wanted to do was just sort of give my opinion on what I think might happen in the future of the game, because obviously I've not finished playing it yet, so I kind of just want to make some sort of theories, I guess you could say. Like mini theories, not like... I'm not going all game theories on you, I'm not going to bring Map Pack style knowledge to the table, I'm not diving deep into the game's code or anything like that. It's just random little predictions that are my own little headcanons for right now. So what I want to do first is just go into the lore of the game, what we actually do know so far. And where I want to start off first is what the game's actually about. It's obviously no secret. If you've seen any video on Omori, it is absolutely no secret that the game is about depression, anxiety and trauma. And as someone who suffers with in some ways, shapes and forms, all three of those, I really, really, really like this game and how it portrays things. Because it does things in such an unexpected way, and it's also got this really good air of mystery, whilst also trying to convey the best that it can, all these different things. And in my opinion, it works really well. It's subtle but also not subtle at the same time. I don't really know how best to describe it, other than I just really like it. It's a really, really great game. But I was also told, the person who recommended this game to me, who actually recommended that I play this on the channel and play it blind, they actually told me before I start playing the game that it might not be a good idea because it's got so much portrayal of depression and anxiety that it might flare up my own depression and anxiety. And in some ways, shapes and forms that has, because as I'm sure you're aware from watching my previous videos, I kind of have a fear of arachnids, which is also one of the big fears that Omori has to overcome in this game. And I also have a fear of large bodies of water and swimming and things like that, or just drowning, things like that, which is called thalassophobia, and that is actually another big fear that Omori has to conquer within this game. And just the portrayals and the association with depression and anxiety in a general sense, and especially the scenes where Omori is like having to face his fears in his own home. You know, those sort of like awkward dream sequences. That one where I kind of like screamed a little bit, especially. They really freaked me out. And yeah, there was another thing that I wanted to say, but I can't remember what it was now. I don't have like a proper script for this. I just have ideas in a list format that I'm going down one by one. I can't be bothered to write videos like one of those, what they're called, essay style videos. Yeah, I can't be bothered. Anyway, tangent aside, this game is freaky. It can really mess with anyone's depression and anxiety just from playing it, because the simple portrayals and expressions of depression, anxiety, and trauma in general are really obvious most of the time, and just the themes that it does conduct, it just anyone could get really, really depressed after playing this game. And that's, I think, why it comes with a warning. Because when you first boot up the game, and I think on Steam as well, it does kind of warn you that it does talk about some really, really dark and depressing subjects, and it's not exactly the best game to play when you are going through said subjects, but here I am doing it anyway. Anyway, oh, that's what I wanted to mention. The scene where Basil is in the bathroom and is having that anxiety attack. That really, really, really stuck with me, because I have really, really bad anxiety as well, and in that moment I really, really did not want to leave Basil. I actually, after I finished the game, playing the game for the day and finished that video, I really felt sort of regretful and guilty because I actually left him alone, and I don't know if there's any way to console him instead of leaving him alone. If there is, please tell me in the comments, because I would really, really like to know if I ever replay this game, then I can do that. But yeah, that really, really stuck with me, because sometimes when I have an anxiety attack, I really don't want to be left alone, because I fear that the anxiety will just come straight back. Sometimes it even does. But most of the time I usually end up like being alone anyway and feeling that I need to be on my own. But anyway, that's enough of my anxiety and trauma and stuff. My next thing that I wanted to point out is that Omori's got fears that he must conquer. So that's an obvious thing. Heights was the first one, and I think it was spiders, and now it's water. I feel like I'm missing one, but that might be because we've not gotten to it yet. I don't know. Anyway, the next thing is Mary's dead. That's an obvious one. I realised it as soon as the first sort of like teleportation thing, because at first when Aubrey, like, not Aubrey, when Mary had a little picnic and then we went somewhere else and then she had her own little picnic, I was like, is Mary a ghost? Is she dead? Is she a goddess or something? Like, is she some sort of like supernatural entity? And that's when my brain started ticking. And then as time went on, I kind of realised, yeah, she is dead. But yeah, that's sad and depressing. Moving on. Basil goes missing and he has severe anxiety. So maybe Basil sort of like ran away because of his anxiety in like the headspace sort of place. Not entirely sure about that, but that's like a tiny little mini theory. Anyway, Basil lives with his grandmother who is dying and his support worker. I have no idea what happened to his parents, and I've got no theory as to what happened, so if anyone knows, maybe let me know in the comments, but that might also be a spoiler for later, so be careful. I don't want any spoilers, but I also want knowledge, so freaky. After Mary died, what happened to the five of them, I think, or the four of them, or whatever? Hero got really, really depressed. We learned that in the scene where Omori and Kel go and visit Mary's grave in the back of a church. Kel just basically isolated himself at first, and then he sort of just grew up into a really, really nice young lad, instead of being, you know, a brat, basically. Omori basically secluded himself, and he cut contact with all of his friends, and kind of like hardly ever went out of the house. And obviously he created Headspace as sort of like a way to deal with all the trauma and stuff, I think. That's a little bit of a theory. Um, and then what Aubrey did was, because she felt so abandoned by all her friends, she sort of fell into the wrong crowd, and this is a really, really, really common thing. I've known plenty of people who have felt like abandoned by their friends or their personal life or their friendships or their family life sort of like goes the wrong way, and then they set on this tragic path of hanging in the wrong crowds, basically, like talking to the wrong people, and then they become sort of like mean spirited and uh, bullies themselves, things like that. That happens all the time. So that's kind of what happened to Aubrey. She basically became an evil delinquent bully. But I'm also pretty sure that this is from memory, by the way. I've not done any like extra research, and I've not even watched my own videos about Omori, so this might be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure Aubrey lives in like an abusive household with a dad, and her mother also passed away. I think that is correct, but I'm not entirely sure, so don't quote me on that. Next off, there are two worlds, Headspace and the real world. Headspace is just the strange mind world that Omori's created within his own mind, which seems to happen when he's asleep. Um, and the real world is when Omori is awake. In the real world, Omori is moving out in like 3 days. If he actually opens the door to Kel, he will finally start spending time with Kel again, and Hiro as well, when Hiro comes back on, I think it's the second day, or something like that, where it's like, oh, there's only 1 day left now, hoo-hoo. Anyway, and they're all trying to sort of like save Basil from Aubrey, because Aubrey is basically bullying Basil, and we're not entirely sure why as of yet. Anyway, as well as doing that, we also do like everyday tasks in preparation for Hiro's return, and then just trying to find Basil and things like that, because Basil does also go missing, but in the real world, for a short period of time anyway, we do find him. So Omori's mother is like kind of really neglectful, because she leaves him alone for like 3 days, and I have no idea what happened to his father. Like, there's no information on where his father went. Again, if you do know, please tell me, because kind of interested. Omori is brutal, by the way. He tries to cut Aubrey up. Like, bloody hell. I still can't get over that scene. I really can't. Anyway, Omori also has these sort of like hallucinations, because he sometimes sees like the monsters of Headspace in the real world. And Aubrey, she actually goes to church now to pray, and I'm pretty sure she prays for both Mary and her mother, but I'm not entirely sure if, like I said earlier, I'm not entirely sure if her mother is actually passed away or what, because I can't really remember. Anyway, some of the Headspace monsters are based on like real people and things that Omori knows in the real world, because Van and whatever her name is pretty similar in Headspace, but they're actually like more nice. Captain Spaceboy is a game character, things like that. Aubrey eventually ends up stealing Basil's photo album, and then later in the story we kind of realise that all of Mary's photos from Basil's photo album, when we finally get it back, are the ones that are missing. So I'm pretty sure Mary actually stole his photo album to take the pictures of Mary, and was eventually going to give it him back. I don't even know, but that's a thing, possibly. Anyway, where am I now? Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, Basil is actually the name of one of my dogs, so in my videos sometimes I have like my dogs sitting in the room with me. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So every time I end up saying Basil, whilst my dog Basil is in the room, we kind of like sort of props his head up as like, what, me? Anyway, slight tangent. um, Back to the actual video. So, in Headspace, Basil goes missing, and it's our job to find him. And everyone in Headspace is sort of like the same age as they were when they were all still friends, although Mary is still dead. Yeah, although Mary is dead, she actually helps us with save spaces, hints, and health replenishments in Headspace, so that's nice. Captain Spaceboy was done by Princess Sweetheart, words, because she became like increasingly more and more vain as the corruption of the curse of the castle took over her. She also looked up a real boyfriend in the bottom of the castle, and she's a donut. So yeah, that's all the lore that we know so far. But now it's time for predictions or theories or whatever you want to call it. So, yay, more stuff. I just realised this entire time I've been moving my arms. I've been moving my arms. I've been moving my arms around whilst talking. It's a habit of mine, but my VTuber model doesn't actually have, like control of the arms like in, what's it called now? I can't remember what it's called. There's a different VTuber thing, virtual webcam thing. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, moving on. So my first little prediction is, in the dungeons of Sweetheart's castle, Aubrey hints that she and Omori are dating. If that's true, then perhaps they were dating before Mary died, and Aubrey is extra mad at Omori because instead of helping her through her pain, he broke up with her and secluded himself. Again, that's just a theory. A little tiny theory. My next little thing is that it's hinted to us by Daddy Longlegs in the section with all the spiders and spider cats. Hate those spider cats. Anyway, it's hinted to us by Daddy Longlegs that Omori is the evil that's corrupting Headspace, but is also the hero who must save Headspace with his friends. And he's also the one who created Headspace. So, yeah, that's I believe that. I believe that might be the thing. So that'll play into a bit of a later theory anyway. Now it's time for a bit of a heavy one. I think it's possible that Mary died by saving Omori when he was drowning. So Omori's got thalassophobia. Like I said earlier, it's a fear of large bodies of water, being stuck underwater, not being able to breathe underwater, drowning, things like that. And we get like 100% confirmation that Mary is dead after Omori tries to save Basil from drowning, which both of them are saved by Hero, by the way. And straight after Omori conquers his fear of water, she also said goodbye to him whilst on a dock, and she also floated on water before fading away. So I think that it's possible that that's how Omori died, that Mary died trying to save Omori from drowning. I could be completely wrong. It might be something to do with them all being in a car together or something. That was something that was mentioned in that secret hidden library underneath, what's it called? Sweetheart's Castle. Anyway, next little theory, if I can even see it, because the way I've laid this out is it's just one straight after the other, and I keep getting lost as to where I am in this entire little document. Where is it? Oh yeah, right. So my next little theory is that each area, so far, seems to resemble an aspect of life and an anxiety as well. So the first forest and park sort of like represent where they used to play, but it was also a place where people got bullied, which was portrayed by Boss in the Park, where at first it was like sort of bullying people, and he got kicked out of the park for bullying people, and that was a tutorial of battle as well. So that's, you know, a little bit of an interesting sort of thing. Otherworld seems to represent their imaginations, but it also represents breakups and being unloved, as portrayed by Space Ex-Boyfriend, because he was basically dumped by what's the name? Sweetheart. The forest, you know, the one with all the spiders and shit in it, that basically represents another place they used to play, and they also had picnics there quite often. But it also represents fear and uncertainty, represented by, you know, spiders and spider cats. Anyway, Sweetheart's castle seems to represent authority and society, as well as forgiveness, vanity, and love. And that's portrayed by themes of royalty, as well as Sweetheart being really, really vain and corrupt, and eventually forgiving and falling back in love with Captain Spaceboy again. And the area that I'm on at the moment, so I don't really have much info on this as of yet, but Last Resort, the hotel that's underwater, seems to represent a theme of growing up, because everyone is like forced to get jobs. Yeah, I think that's it. Really? No, that can't be right. Yeah, that's apparently it. That's all I've got on it. So another little theory is that Omori needs to make amends with all of his friends to defeat the final boss of the game, since every time he defeats a boss, or every time they defeat a boss even, their friendship grows, which allows their final like special attack to increase in power, or something along the lines of that. So he's gotta get all his friends in the real world to sort of like grow up and let go of their past problems and actually be friends again, so that in the other world, when he gets back, he's, you know, got more power. They all have like more power. I don't know, some sort of friendship quest thing. That one's not exactly a solid theory, so I apologise for that. Anyway, the last one is another bit of a hefty one. So that would be that the final boss could either be Basil's anxiety, Omori's darkness, Omori himself, or even Mary. For Basil's anxiety, it would sort of represent us helping him to let go of his anxiety, which possible, I have no idea. For Omori's darkness, it would represent Omori letting go of all of his trauma and opening up to his friends again. Again, I think that's completely plausible. For Omori himself, it would represent Omori letting go of the shell of himself that he's become and just grow up a little bit, you know, kind of steer away from his overactive imagination with mind space. I don't really think that one's going to come into play, but it's again, I think it's kind of possible. And for Mary, it would represent all of them letting go of their traumas relating to Mary and coming to terms with a death. Again, I doubt that one's going to happen, but I think it's possible as well. Anyway, I know that video's been kind of really long and really all over the place. That's because I'm really not used to doing these style of videos, so kind of sorry about that. If you have made it this far, thank you very, very, very much. I know it's been a while since I've done a video in general, so my anxiety about coming back and talking again to my viewers is kind of a little bit nerve-wracking, so if you did hear that in my voice, I'm sorry for not, you know, dealing with that better, but oh well, it kind of can't be helped sometimes, so, whatever. Anyway, again, thank you so much for watching. I will be returning to doing Omori videos either this week or next week. It depends sort of like what happens with things. I'm not really gonna say anything else on that because it's kind of personal stuff and I don't really want to talk about it right now. But yeah. So depending on what happens, it'll be either this week or next week that I start with releasing more Omori videos, gameplay videos, not this, because I don't think I need to do another one of these. Maybe at the end I'll do a video on sort of like, oh, the predictions that I got right. Maybe not, I don't know. I don't even know if I even like doing this format. I don't even know if you like me doing this format yet. So, whatever. Anyway, please like and subscribe. It's always free. And I'll see you later.